Hello. Welcome back to Gossip and Guidance with your host, Iromy, and co-host, ohmadahi. From wherever you're watching or listening, thank you so much for being here.
Hey. That only took like 4 tries.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's been a rough day lately. I really thought... Oh, first of all, I just want to say sorry for not being here last week. Me and Sarah was just not having a good week last week. You know, as we all know, it's been a tough
month, I should say.
That hasn't even been a month. That's the crazy thing about all this.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So it's just been a hard couple 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks. And so yeah, the first week was really insane for us, and our headspace just wasn't here, especially mine. I just felt like, if I'm not okay, how can I give the best advice that I can give? And that's what my podcast is about. Mm-hmm. It's about giving my guidance, my advice. This is why it's called Gossip and Guidance, and listening to your stories. And I know some stories are not as sad as others. Some are just like, just want advice on something, whatever they're going through. Yeah. But sometimes they're really sad, and I was already feeling down, and I just didn't feel like my headspace was there for you guys.
And if you're wondering, like, why are we feeling down? I think it's pretty obvious, but for those of you guys that are like complete, like, for what reason? Because of Mr. Cheeto, dude. Mr. Cheeto, Mr. new president that we have, lovely dictator that he's turning into. And
I never really been one to really talk about politics like that, because I also never been really crazy about politics, you know, but I just feel like we have to, because the type of leader that we have right now, it's just not.
I think he's just dividing the US.
I think he's evil. Honestly, I think he's evil, and he only cares about himself. Because look, to me, as long as you respect me, I respect you. Whether it was Democrat, Republican, it was all about respect and respecting everybody's opinions. Mm-hmm. But this is further more than just that. This is not just about blue and red. This is not just about Democrat and Republican. It's not about that. It's so much more. You know, there's been other Republicans in office, and I don't think that this much hate was being spread. You know, I don't think other Republican presidents were trying to change the world or America as much as he is. And I feel like it's affecting a lot more people, you know? And then it's just so sad how everything's being done, how he's trying to get rid of so many things that help so many people. I don't know. It's just so sad. It's not just about the deportations that are going on. It's about everything that he wants to take away. He wants to take away human rights in a sense, you know? Yeah. And I know that some are more educated than others. And if this is not for you, you don't have to watch today's podcast, amiga, but that is the topic of the day, because we feel it's only right to talk about it, or at least say our input and how we feel about it.
I think that we have a platform that we can use to at least spread some awareness, because obviously there's not much we can do to make a change, but we can try and spread the awareness, try to educate those who maybe are not informed, or maybe they're on the red side and all they are taking in is the red input, the red opinion. You know, I think we should all be on either seeing both ends. You know, there's two sides to the stories. I feel like people should
just be seeing human rights and humanity and caring for one another, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. You know, just because it doesn't affect you, just because you're not the one going through it, doesn't mean that you shouldn't care for other people. It's called being sympathetic. It's called caring for human rights in general, and just being a kind-hearted person. It's not even about, like we said, red or blue. It's just being a kind person and caring for your neighbor, caring for your friends, caring for your families, caring for other people other than yourself. And I feel like a lot of people is like, oh, well, it doesn't affect me. I don't need to educate myself. And you're wrong. I'm sorry, but you're wrong, because you have people around you that in some way or form, it's affecting them. They might not be vocal about it, but it's affecting them. And for you to not be educated on it, or for you to at least put the effort to see what's going on, you know what I mean? Like really learn in a sense that's kind of selfish of you. And I say this because we just had some of our friends tell us like, oh, if it wasn't because obviously we talk about it with our friends, and we just had some of our friends tell us like, oh, if it wasn't because you guys, we wouldn't know none of this is happening, or we wouldn't know how much is affecting you guys, or etc. And but they're willing to learn, and they want to know, and I appreciate that. And we have a couple friends like that. It's, so it might be like that, and I don't know, you might have a friend that it's affecting them and you have no idea. And because it's not that you don't care to look into it, it's also because like I said, it doesn't affect you, so you don't look into it. And not blaming you, but we can try. I feel like we can try.
Yes.
It's just so sad, and I understand that a lot of people are gonna come here and be like, oh, but they're just deporting just the criminals. If you really look into it, it's not just the criminals. He's just trying to get rid of all immigrants. Even if they were in the process for getting a green card or seeking asylum, or he's also trying to take away our birthrights. He's trying to do more than just that. Yeah, he hasn't maybe gotten there, but that's his goal. His next goal is gonna take away gay marriages. He already, obviously, I know that federal buildings can't have other flag other than the American flag, or but he's just trying to make a lot of changes. Like he tried to cut the wig and
just to put it into bulletin points. Number one, he's against the LGBT community. Obviously, he hates immigrants, and I'm not using the word hate lightly, because he hates immigrants.
And he has let it known. He has
known,
said it.
Number two, he's trying to get rid of government help programs, which affects everybody, including the U.S. citizens. What else does he have? Oh, he's trying to impose tariffs on imported things from other countries, which essentially what I don't understand is that, yes, he's making them pay an extra percentage for importing things into the U.S., yet that's going to cause our prices to rocket high, because now it's getting a little bit more expensive to bring them in.
So they're going to charge more because they're being charged more. That is how business works.
Meaning prices on everything's gonna go up. Cars, groceries, everything, because BFFR. Like, everything we have here is made in China.
Or Mexico.
Or Canada. Mexico. Yes.
Like, when do you ever... It's rare when you see stuff here that says made in the USA.
Yeah.
It's rare.
It's rare. So you have an idea of how that's going to affect us and everybody, including the U.S. citizens that are over there proudly being Trumpies or whatever, but it is what it is. Consequences of their own actions. What's another thing that they're the citizenship for people that were born here. Like, imagine that you're born here, you have a kid here, and just because you have a Mexican background, they're not considered citizens.
Just so your parents are immigrants.
Yeah, like, so what then? Like, ¿qué le van a poner ahí? Where did you, in the Pacific Ocean, naciste o qué pedo? You know what I mean? What's another thing that he's talking about? Marriage rights. I already said that. Just equality. Like, he's just dividing the world with hatred.
If you really look into Project 2025, it's literally what's happening. It's a whole plan. It's a lot. If you don't want to read it, because it's long, you can summarize it. You can look at videos, people summarizing it for you. And I know at the time, a lot of people were saying, oh, that's not true. That's not even his idea. Because I literally had people tell me that. And I'm like, okay. And so far, everything that has happened is part of Project 2025. So if you still don't believe in Project 2025, wake up, people. Wake up. They only win. First of all, they only win if we stay silent and if we just let them do whatever they're trying to do. We have a voice for a reason. We cannot sit silent, and we can still speak and be vocal about these things. Let's use our voices. We have voices for a reason. I know that there's not much like how can I say? There's not much that we can physically do, but we can't voice. We can voice it. We can keep fighting for human rights. We can keep fighting for ourselves. to make a change. If we stay quiet, no changes. And that's what they want. They want you to either leave the country because you're so tired of everything that's going on here. That's what they want. They want you to leave. That would be easier for them. And two, they want you to just not want to listen to it because you're so stressed out because it's getting to you. And that was me last week. I'm like, no, I need 2 days. I need to stay away. And I did. And I gave that to myself for my own mental health, but I'm back and educating myself, listening to things that are speaking about it, that it's not out there, because you guys have to remember that it is controlled media. So I suggest, I'm going to recommend you guys, for the ones that really want to listen, to Democracy Now! And NPR, also 88.1. I feel like those places are really educating you on stuff that are not being really said on controlled social media or controlled news outlets. So we have to resort to other things that are not controlled yet because they're not as big, but they have a lot of information.
And they're not one-sided.
They're not one-sided. It's just informing the people.
That's facts. They're just putting facts, whether it's something positive towards the red side or towards the blue side. It's just facts. It's not one-sided media, what you get on social media and on
because I've been listening to it too, and then there's just a lot of things that no one knows about. And also, I would suggest looking into Project 2025 if you never heard of it. So far, some of those things have come true already. So let's just stay on top of it. Let's stay educated. Let's not give up. As much as this can be mentally getting to us, yes, it's okay to take a step back and just take a day off or two, you have to take care of your own mental health as well, but get back into it, because that's what they want. They want to silence us. They want us to give up. They want us to move on and move out of here. And we can't not let them win. We only lose if we give up.
Yes. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What do you think about Mexicans for Trump?
Latinos for Trump?
Latinos for Trump.
I think it's so sad. Honestly, before it used to make me so angry, like, especially the ones que están bien paludos, but I'm trying to be a better person and not talk down on them, because that's weak me, güey.
No, I'm gonna talk down on them.
No. Yeah, okay, you can do whatever you want. But what I'm saying, it just makes me sad now. It makes me sad that you're turning your back on your people. You're turning your back on you. What the fuck? Where the fuck do you think you came from? Like, yeah, okay, your parents might have papers. What about your grandparents? What about your ancestors? You wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of them. They were immigrants. Tienes papeles, estás educado because of your family.
Because of the ancestors.
Because of your ancestors, whether it was your parents, whether it was your grandparents, it doesn't matter. You have Mexican blood in you, you have indigenous blood in you, you have Latino blood in you. And the fact that you're turning your back on them just simply because the fact that, oh, you're good, it's not affecting you porque tú tienes papeles.
And there's those same people happen to, like, from what I have seen, for the most part, not everybody, but obviously they were lucky enough to be born here because they're not first generation at this point. Maybe it was the grandpa or whatever. But if they only sat and thought about how the grandpa was able to get their residency, their citizenship, that's what their grandpa went through to get that. That's what Latinos are doing now. Like, we're trying to achieve that same thing. It's not so easy. Some people could ask, like, oh, why don't you just apply? It's not easy. It's either you open your legs and marry into somebody that can fix you papers. That's number one.
And a lot of people used to do that. So the Mexicans, the Latinos for Trump, I'm sure one of your ancestors is that.
If it wasn't that, back in the 19-somethings, there was a president that opened up like kind of like open enrollment for healthcare, kind of like that. I only know the term in Spanish, mis tía. That's how I heard it around my household. So if it's one of those things where I'm just pronouncing it wrong, it's because that's the only way I know it. Mis tía, which is the president, the government allowed a time frame for people to be able to apply for it. But that's no longer a thing. It was only open for, I don't know how long, but it was not very long. You had to meet certain qualifications to to qualify for it. And ever since that year, we haven't had another opportunity like that. And I think a lot of us, especially someone like me with DACA, is just waiting, hoping that we get that chance again, the path to citizenship. And it's not as easy as apply for it. I can't. If I could have, I would have already. It's just not possible. So I don't think they sit and think how they are now there in that spot that they are, where they no longer have to worry about, oh, is so-and-so going to get deported, or, they're talking shit about us, we're being affected directly, that now you're thinking you're a fucking gringo, because you're not. You're not. And another point that I want to touch is the Latinos for Trump that are saying, he's only deporting immigrants that committed crimes. He's only deporting criminals. The way Trump sees immigrants is, as long as you cross the border illegally, you're an immigrant. So guess what? The whole fucking population is a criminal in his eyes. He said, yeah, I'm only going to get criminals. But then later on, he comes out and says, well, if you crossed illegally, you're a criminal. Okay, but then he's getting rid of visas. Like, people are not just able to get a visa to come in. He's not making it easy for people just to like apply for a visa and come in. Like, it's not that easy. And I wish it was, because obviously I'd bounce and come back in with the visa. But it's not that easy. It's not 100%. It's not 100% yes. Like, you have to go through approvals. You have to have businesses down there to get a visa. I think now, I'm not sure, you can fact check me, but he's trying to put a pause on that because he does not want any immigrants in here. He does, and which is funny because his wife was an immigrant. He was an immigrant at one point. Where did they come from? They weren't born here. So it's just like things like that it's infuriating when Latinos for Trump are over there attacking their own people, talking about like, well, if you would have came in the right way, like, you think your grandpa came in the right way?
Amnesty.
Sorry,
it was in the tip of my tongue, and I was like, it sounds familiar to the Spanish. It's amnesty, and it happened in 1982. Oh, yeah. So for the people that were here during that time, that's how they had the opportunity to apply for their green card, and then, after that, you can apply for citizenship. So some of these people that are like, oh, come in the right way, that already have papers, it's like, and you're Latino or whatever other type of immigrant you are, some of you have papers because of that law that passed, or like Sarah was saying, some is because you married into someone you marry someone who's a U.S. citizen, or you apply for asylum. Or which you were assaulted, like you went through something traumatic, right? But it's not that easy, because if it was that easy for every immigrant to apply, don't you think we would all do it? Yeah. All these immigrants would not be crossing illegally, and you think it's easy for them to cross? Some of them die attempting to come here for a better life. Like, people come here to give their kids a better life, to survive for whatever they're going. There's a lot of shit that goes on in other sides of the world, and just because you didn't have that struggle doesn't mean these people don't deserve a better life. And if it was that easy, let me repeat myself, if it was that easy, don't you think everyone would do it? Why would they want to come here and be constantly in fear, hiding, or working their ass off and paying taxes? So at the end, they don't even get a Social Security. They won't even have a Social Security to help them with their retirement. They either have to save up their entire life so they can survive when they no longer can work. When they're retired, they literally have to save up. You think they want to put themselves through that just because? No, nobody wants to live in fear. Nobody wants to pay taxes and bust their ass off and get your taxes taken out of your check, so at the end you don't get nothing. These people don't come just because. And I hate when people say that, like, oh, well, why don't you just come in the right way? Like, what is the right way to you? Please fucking tell me. And I hate when they say, go back to your land, and they're like, not even from here. They're like, German descent. They're Europeans. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even from here. Your ancestors are not even from here.
Yeah, if you're
This
not Native
land-
American, you can't say that.
Yes. And first of all, California used to be part of Mexico. So it baffles me the way that these people think.
And then on top of it, at one point, if you go back in history, they wanted immigrants here. Like, they literally were bringing people in because they wanted the people to work for the fields. They wanted all of that. And now, fast forward some time, now we're getting kicked out. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, guys, the people that just want all immigrants out of here is not because they're so mad that they didn't come here the right way. They don't give a fuck. They're simply just fucking racist.
Yeah.
Or they think they're better than you, like the Latinos for Trump. They just fucking think they're better than you because they have papers. And it's just like, because if you're reality, let's really sit down and think. An America without any type of immigrants, who's gonna work in the kitchens at your favorite restaurant, that bomb ass food you like? Have you take a look at those kitchens? They're all immigrants. They're all Latinos. They're all right. They're all Hispanic.
if they're not, they're Asians. Like,
Yes,
it's la cultura. Like, we have different cultures, and that's the beautiful thing about America.
yes. Construction. Have you taken a look at them? Who's busting their ass off? Yeah, the architects are the white people, the one telling you how to build, but who's doing the hard labor?
The architect is not gonna go down and put up a piece of wall.
No, they're do the blueprints. They do but they're not out there doing the hard labor. Who's gonna be out there in the fields providing those crops that you have on your table, that food that you have on your table? So picture in America without any immigrants. Who's gonna put food on your table? Who's gonna cook your food at the restaurant? Who's gonna clean your houses? Who's gonna clean your hotels? Who's gonna do all that? And they say, oh, you're here taking people's jobs. No, apply for them. Apply for them. I bet you none of you guys do. I mean, not attacking you, but the people that are fucking talking out of their ass is what I'm saying. I just feel like diversity is beautiful. It's coming together and just being human beings. Like, in the perfect world, right? That would be it. Like, having respect for one another and just not even looking at the person's skin color, just simply looking at a human being and respecting one another and embracing each other's diversity and culture. That would be so beautiful. But of course, that's in the perfect world, right?
Yeah. I have another question.
What?
What do you think about Elon Musk? F that alien-looking motherfucker. That's what I think. Keep playing with your little spaceships and get your ass out of the house, the White House. Because what is he doing out there? Like, hello? What the hell? You're supposed to be messing with your Tesla cars and shit and your rocket ship. Somehow money...
He has money that pays geniuses to do that for him, girl.
I know, but it's like, it's number one, he also came into this country illegally, was working illegally under a different name and shit. For him to now just want to, entitled as motherfucker.
That's what money does, girl. Money is power. And this is why they say in the Bible, money is evil. Because what do you do when you have money? When you have money, you get away with crime. Or you can hire the best lawyer, you can afford it. You can buy whatever you want. You just think they think they're better than everyone else. And they think they can get away with everything else because they literally can. Because you can buy anyone off. Because what drives people? What's people's drives in this world? Money.
Do you think his handshake, his little hand gesture was...
something statue, whatever the fucking statue? No. The Roman statue.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, people were saying it was the Roman statue, whatever the fuck. Salute, the Roman salute. Like, I saw this TikToker, the bitch ain't Roman, so the bitch, this is not Rome, the bitch ain't Roman.
I heard it was censored in Germany.
Yes, it was censored in Germany. If he would have done it in Germany, he would have been arrested. And then I hate the people that screenshotted videos of other people, like, Hillary Clinton, Kamala, Obama, and other people like extending their arm, right? Like extending it. But when you really watch the video, they were all just talking about something. And you know what you
And it happened to,
and it happened to extend their, I think Kamala was saying, let's get them out of here. But obviously it wasn't like he did it.
It wasn't the actual action. He did the actual action. They were just talking and it happened to have their hands stretched out. But of course,
he has his little minions, his people that idolize him. Obviously, there's stupid people, and again, what kind of people are them? They have no brain cells, and I'm so sorry. It's all the people that support this kind of person, and as the people that think that that's okay. Like a lot of people are saying, oh, but Obama deported a lot of people. Yes, he did, but he wasn't spreading hate. Was it this bad when Obama was in office? Where people are freaking feeling entitled and just calling anyone at a random store? Hate wasn't spread like this. And from the research that I've done, I read that he was deporting actual criminals that either committed a crime here or in their own country and came over here, right? Escaped over here. Or he was obviously at the border. So yes, he also deported people. And what president, they all do. They all have to. At the end of the day, they're the
part
president.
Of the agenda, huh?
But
there's just a proper way to do it.
Yes. And Mr. Trompas over here is not. He's doing more than just that. He's spreading hate. He is making it okay. The fact that, for example, the plane accident with the military helicopter, he tried to blame me on diversity. Please fucking tell me how, if they were white. How was that on diversity?
Oh, the plane crash?
And they didn't even know what had caused it yet. And he's over here blaming he's speaking out of his ass. And why is he doing it? Because people are going to eat it up and it's going to spread even more hate. He knows what he's doing and he's trying to divide us all. And people are not seeing it. And wake the fuck up. Like, this is all about division and control. This is all about the rich and the poor. That's it. That's what they want. They want the rich and the poor. They want to separate us because what they win by separating us. If there was no division, if everybody was just united, they would be shaking in their motherfucking boots because that's not what they want. We are a lot more powerful than they are when we come together.
That's why he's creating division.
And that's why he's creating division. He don't give a fuck about no one else but himself and making himself more rich. Literally. Guys, wake up. He says that. He's very open. He doesn't hide anything. And then when he gets called out on what he said, he fucking lies and gets caught up, right?
Obviously, we're yapping. We're angry.
Yes.
It's very infuriating what's going on. It's very sad. I don't know if you guys have noticed, we have been a little MIA on posting on TikTok. And it just kind of because it feels wrong. It feels wrong posting anything that's unrelated to what's going on. And we
fuck around a lot. We joke around. The ones that know us us. And we just have not been feeling it like that.
We're not in the mental space. Like it's just, it feels like we're carrying a lot on our shoulders.
Like we're angry, we're sad, we're devastated. I don't know. It's just, and not just because we're Mexican. It's just the fact that, like,
there's right and wrong, and I think this is so sad that people can't see it that way.
Yes,
politics aside,
it saddens me that some people don't have a heart. I just want to see the best in people, and the fact that some people agree with this person and think that everything is going on, it's okay. It literally breaks my heart, and I can't wrap my head around how evil people can be. It saddens me and it breaks me, and I just want to have hope. And it's been a little tough, honestly. It's been a little tough to have hope and faith, but I'm trying. And this is why we kind of been a little MIA. And yes, we're angry, but we're more than just angry. I'm freaking sad. I'm sad for humanity. I'm sad for the world. I'm sad for people that are going through something, you know, like we might not be going through like it physically, but it is affecting us because at the end of the day, that is our people.
It's our people. We see how people online talk and refer to Latinos in general. And yeah, I'm sitting here pretty with DACA. Fuck. I'm sitting here pretty with DACA and not as stressed about it because thankfully there's something behind me that's like protecting me. Yet I have to sit here and see all the negative comments and how people address Latinos like if they were really aliens from a different freaking planet, like if we were monsters, like if they were criminals hurting people on a day-to-day basis, you know, like it's so sad. It's really, really sad. And I'm just like, whoa, like people are showing their true colors. Now when I'm out in the store and I see someone that's a little pale, you know, a little pale, or even Latino for Trump with the hat, now it's like, oh, I really know how you feel. And it's not just like, oh, you need to go back to your country. It's some people go to the point where they want to physically hurt a Latino because they feel that entitled in this country. And they feel like that one guy that pretended to be a police officer or an ICE agent and was talking shit to just a fellow person driving. He pulled him over and like took his keys away, took his phone away, just for what? Just because he wanted to pretend to be somebody else and
you
kick him
know
out of the country.
That he wants, I don't know if it passed or in the works, but they're going to get bounty hunters now to do it. Too. And they're going to pay them like $1,000.
That too. That
you know, so like the person that did that.
That person that did that's going to get a real ice cream truck and just throw everybody in there because he's going to go collect money. Like that is so sad and hurtful that you just for your own benefit you're gonna take somebody's dad, somebody's husband, or somebody's mom away from them just to go collect your quick 1,000.
Like I saw a video of this girl like screaming at her mom from a fence as her mom is being detained, and she's like, "Mom, you're gonna be okay." Like, I don't know.
It's sad, guys, and it's just sad. And it's sad because, too, it's not just Latinos. It's also people that may not be Latino, but they are part of the LGBT community. Like, for example, our trans people, our queer people. How do you go to a government website and all you see is LGB? Lesbian, gay, and bi. Not the T. So what are we looking at trans people like? Like, do you know how they feel? Like, it's just sad. Like, there's a right and there's a wrong, and I understand. Like, you guys, there's people that are claiming Christianity or claiming this that you voted.
That is not Christian.
That is not Christian. If you voted, if your excuse is like, oh, it's because I'm like Christian or whatever the hell, you know what? Shut the fuck up. First of all, your president couldn't even put the hand on the Bible when he got sworn in. And you voted for him as a criminal? Somebody who has SA'd underage kids? Somebody who had looked at his daughter before and said if she wasn't my daughter, that he'd go after her? That's the person you voted for? And you're using your Christianity card for it?
To make yourself feel better.
What is it? Be fucking for real? BFFR? BFFR. Really? And
then, yeah, like Sarah was like, sorry, I was over here crying my life away. But, like Sarah mentioned, like the whole, for example, like the people that, like trans, right? They try to take them away from the LGBT Q plus, right? You think people want to feel like that? In general, we didn't want to be lesbians. We didn't want to be gay because why? We go through shit.
It's not a choice.
It's not a choice. It's not a choice. And just because you don't feel like that doesn't mean that we're in the wrong. It's like kind of like saying, like, for example, say straight wasn't a thing, but you're straight, but everybody looks at you weird for being straight. It's something you can't control. It's who you are. It's what you are attractive to. It's so stupid to me that people literally think that we can just switch, that it's a phase.
Like, and therapy can fix it.
And therapy can fix it. Like, why would we want to put ourselves through that? We constantly have to keep coming out for the rest of our lives. We sometimes don't want to hold hands in public because there's gonna be people that might attack us or
we have to look around before we give each other a kiss because who's freaking watching? You know, like there might be that pale person, old folk that's so traditional that we have to protect. Like we have to protect ourselves from them, pretty much.
So that if that's how we feel, I can only imagine someone who doesn't feel like they belong in their body. And I don't know what that feels like. I might never understand it, but you know one thing I do understand? It's respect, and I know that I don't feel what they feel, but I can respect them because at the end of the day, it's their life and it's not mine. It does not affect me in any way, shape, or form how they're living their life. You know, and I just don't understand how some people can sit there and judge you and talk so much shit and just, I don't know, like just hate on trans people just simply because you don't feel like that. Yeah. And again, that's just you being selfish and not putting yourself in other people's shoes. And I understand that not every Caucasian person or pale person, as Sarah is saying, they're not all mean, they're not all rude, they're not all disrespectful, they're not all evil. But it's so crazy and it's so sad that we don't even feel comfortable around a bunch of, they can all be super nice and be allies and be here for equality and support us. But we just feel so uncomfortable around them, especially nowadays, and that is so sad. It's sad, and I sit there and I think about it and I'm like, oh my God, like it was a bunch of white people and I felt a little bit uncomfortable. That's so sad. But you know why we feel uncomfortable? Because all I'm thinking in my head is, they know I'm Mexican. What are they thinking about me? Are they talking shit about me because I'm Mexican? Are they, you know what I mean? That's literally what goes in my head all the time. Like, you know, like, what are they saying? What do they think? Do they want to tell me something? Like, yeah. I just feel uncomfortable and it saddens me. I do have a white friend, right? And she even said it herself. She said, this is the difference. She said, my parents are Republican. They are. She was like, but they do not agree with Trump. They do not agree with what he stands for. Therefore, they're not going to vote Republican. And to me, that's my respects, you know, because even though they're going against their value, because other people voted for him, because of abortion rights, right? Okay. Other people voted for him because, the economy, right? They forgot about everything else. You didn't think about the rest. You only thought about yourself, especially the economy, people. Fuck your eggs. I don't give a fuck if my eggs are $20. I prefer human rights. I prefer to stand for people than for fucking $20 eggs. I don't give a fuck about $20 eggs.
And even that, it's only common sense. Once things go up, they don't go down.
Sorry, I'm cussing a lot, but I'm crashing out. I am crashing out here.
She's crashing out. Once things go up, they don't go down. And we're witnessing it in the last 2 weeks. Like, what happened?
Where's your economy at?
Where's
the people that voted for the economy? Where are they at? Where's it at?
Because did it get better? Why did we go grocery shopping this weekend and spend $250 on just the needs? Not even extra stuff.
Not a lot of stuff.
Not even like
for two people.
For two people. Where's the economy at? I waited for homeboy to come back to office to go grocery shopping, and that shit me salió peor, as a matter of fact. It's just a lot. I don't know. I think there's a lot of lack of education, lack of sympathy, a lot of selfishness.
Like I was saying, like the lack of everything. Like the people that sit there and be like, it's because I voted because based on the economy. What about everything else that he said? All the disrespectful he said that didn't matter to you? Like, do you think we want to pay $12, $20 for eggs? No. But there's further more important things than your groceries. If I have to eat rice and beans for the rest of my life because that's the cheapest thing, I will eat rice and beans for the rest of my life because I care. There's more important things. What's another thing that I get? Like the abortion thing. It goes further more into that. Say you're having complications. You cannot abort. Say you were a victim of... SA, and who wants to have that baby? That's gonna, some people can do it, and I give my heart out to you and props to you, but not everyone it's the same. Some people are stronger than others. Some people can do it and others can't do it. When you want that baby in the system, you know, and this is what pisses me off, guys. There's so many kids in the system. So many kids grow up in the system because not everyone wants to adopt. What do you hear? I want my own blood. And the people that say that, all the ones that are against abortion are the ones that are against this, that, and that. Like, if it's their body, you're not the one that went through SA. You're not, you know, what if it's your daughter? You know, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
You're not the one that went through that. You don't know how that person feels, and you're taking that right away from them. It's a choice. And I understand, like, I don't want abortion to be a thing, right? But then you have to look at the bigger picture. Most kids end up growing up in the system, and guess what happens? They're on the streets, either doing drugs. Why? Because they didn't have a good childhood. They have trauma. And those people that are so against it are the ones that always say, oh, no, it's because I'm like, okay, you're going to adopt? No, we want our own blood. Baffles me. Then shut the fuck up. You don't have a right to say on that person's body. Let them have a choice like you have a choice. You have a choice not to adopt, right? Let them have a choice. I mean, I get it, because growing up I used to be like, oh no, I'm against abortion. Da, da, da. But then I started growing up and I started understanding things deeper. That's just surface level. That's just surface level. Oh, a life matters. Yes, a life matters. But are you going to adopt all these kids? And this is one of the reasons why I want to adopt. My dream has always been to adopt. And I have always said that before I even met Syra. I said, if I ever have kids, I'm going to adopt, because I think about that. I put myself in those kids' shoes and I'm like, imagine I didn't have parents. Imagine I grew up in the system. I would like to be adopted. I would like for someone to give me a home and to give me love. I'm already in this world. Yeah, this world's already so fucked up. Let's give those kids a lovely home.
Yeah, there's a lot of that blows my mind when there's somebody that's against abortion, yet they wouldn't adopt somebody, like, say specifically somebody that can't have kids, right? And they're against abortion because, oh my God, they can't have kids, which, okay, yeah, valid. You wish you could do that. And then there's another person out there, you know, just choosing to abort for whatever the reason. Because sometimes there's valid reasons for it, right? Yet you turn around and say you won't adopt. So you go through this whole IVF or whatever processes there is available. Like, it's just two sides to this. And it's like, okay, you don't like abortion, but you also won't take somebody that needs a parent and you need a kid. Like,
and that's how it is. And you guys have to understand that the system is full, guys. It is full with kids. You know, like, there's more to that. Like, and I guess a lot of people think about it like, oh, well, it's because they're just being HOEs. They're just they're using it as a form of birth control.
And yes, unfortunately, there is people
there
like
is.
that.
There
and that's
is.
sad, and it sucks.
But I feel, like, I don't know, right? I just feel like there was a better way to, like, go about it. It's kind of like keeping record, right? You have a vaccine record, or I feel like we could have kept record of it. Okay, they got already, for example, like 3 abortions, maybe put a stop to or track those. I don't know. I feel like we could have worked on a better system. Obviously, there's more to that, but I feel like for those type of people, yes, we could have done something. I don't know.
Yeah, but
require them to be on birth control. I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better way.
Again, we're yapping, we're mad, and
also, obviously, this is not to point fingers at that. We're just expressing ourselves and how we feel, and let's be adults about this. Like, obviously, if you have information or you want to say something, let's talk about it. Educate us. I say we said something that we totally don't know what we're talking about. Educate us. We're open-minded. Let's be open-minded. Let's be adults. Like, we're here trying to learn. We're trying to educate you. You can educate us, but in a respectful way. At the end of the day, we're all adults, and we're all trying to figure this out together.
Yeah. And back to Latinos and immigration and everything's going on because we completely sidetracked into abortion.
We did.
I just want to say Trump, right? Trump, that's one. He does point fingers that we're a bunch of criminals, that we're this and this and that. I just want to say that an immigrant probably has the best record compared to somebody that's a citizen here or like legally born here, because we as immigrants, we have to walk a straight line, friends. Like me speaking for myself as a DACA recipient, every 2 years my background gets checked, making sure I don't have no misdemeanors, making sure I don't have any crime in my record, because God forbid I do, boom, there you go. There's your chance for your renewal, right?
Yeah, we have to like pay for it every 2 years. So
every
it's
2
not
years
free.
you pay for the application.
FYI, the United States makes tons of money off DACA recipients. We have to renew it every 2 years. There's a background check. So you don't get it just because. You have to have a background check. Sometimes we do fingerprints. We pay for it.
You have to be providing in the economy. So you have to have
a job
or being enrolled into school. Otherwise, if you're just out here being a bum, they're not going to give it to you, dude.
Yes.
Like, that's what I say. Like, immigrants are probably the least criminals in this country, because we have to walk a straight line, especially those that have no kind of protection in the U.S. Imagine committing a crime. They're not going to hold you in a cell under their tax-paying dollars. They're going to give you the boot. If you don't want the boot, you're going to walk a straight line. So it's like when he uses we got a bunch of criminals, criminal this, criminal
and I'm not
that.
saying there isn't criminals.
No, they do exist.
Of course. But what I'm saying is, for the most part, immigrants are here to work and provide for their families and walk a straight line, because we can't afford to be getting in trouble.
No.
You know, it's especially the ones that don't have protection, like DACA, like we said, you know, because they literally have nothing protecting them at all. So
also, as immigrants, you don't qualify for those government help programs. Like people say that we just take advantage of that and get free money and just live off of government help.
We do not.
That is not a thing whatsoever.
Most immigrants don't have food stamps.
They don't get. Oh no. Fuck no.
We don't have food stamps.
No.
We buy our groceries from our own pockets. Our parents buy our groceries from our own pocket. We don't get food stamps. We don't get Section 8 like that. We have to go either around it, figure it out. Most of us don't have Medi-Cal, because it's not, immigrants don't survive off of that. It's mostly U.S. citizens.
U.S. citizens. Why? Because they're the ones that are most informed. They're the ones that are qualified. Because what do you need to apply for all those things? That little fancy number that you get when you're born here, you need to have that to apply for those things. Immigrants don't have a social like that. DACA recipients do, thank God, but at what price? You know, like every 2 years we have to pay the price for it.
And you know it went up?
Oh, it did? Mm-hmm. Great.
It went up in April of 2024, so it's a little more expensive now.
God. Anyways, just that was our yapping sesh on what's going on in this country at the moment. I know that there might be somebody there's probably a one-off person that's watching this or listening to this, and is probably like,
that you're gonna disagree.
That's gonna disagree, and I will.
And that's okay.
No, I will usually say that's okay. It's not okay to disagree in this time.
No, I was gonna say it's okay to have your own opinion. That's okay. Let us know what you think. But like I said, be respectful and be open-minded. If you're just gonna be rude, get the fuck out of here. First of all, I don't want you here. I don't even want you following me if you're that type of person. And like Sarah was saying, it's not okay because you voted against human rights. You voted against equality.
To me, it's not okay.
I get that.
It's not okay. We cannot be friends. I'm so sorry. Number one, I'm a woman. I'm an immigrant. I'm part of the LGBT community. Everything that this man is trying to get rid of, including women's rights, like the right for a woman to have a say in this country, he's gonna take it there. You might not agree right now, but just wait. Let time show you, I guess.
Because sit there and think about everything that he's done in the past 14 days. How many days?
Yeah,
has it been?
14 days.
Let me be actually clear.
My marriage rights. Why do I feel 10 times more the pressure now to propose? Because homeboy might take that shit away from me. So if you disagree with us, I get you can be a red and a blue side, but I think that this topic
15 days.
15 days. This topic, this president is a dictator and he's not a president. He's a dictator and he's out for himself, not for you and not for me. Even you as a Trumpy, I will say that. So you can disagree with us. Leave it in the comments. If you do, that's fine. Please unfollow. Don't talk to me and don't go back. That's my stance on that. And even to anybody, any of my friends, anybody that's out there listening that you're probably like, oh shit, I voted for so-and-so. You better hope I don't find out, because if I find out, we're not friends no more. That's simple as that. Like, that's how strongly I feel about this topic. Or this guy,
Valid.
this Cheeto. We're not.
Valid.
Everything I am,
Because
voted
you
against.
went against all of that.
Everything. For selfish reasons?
Okay, and let's say you really thought he wasn't gonna make it. Like, you really thought he was gonna make a change, right? You say you were that gullible.
I respect the change of heart.
I respect the change of heart, and
it is what it is. You
I
can't
pray
take
for
it
you,
back.
and I hope that you pray for forgiveness too, because I don't know, it's just so sad that you're like, oh, I thought he was gonna make you change, but you still ignored everything else he said, and how disrespectful and how rude he was, and how not of a president he was, because he's been showing his true colors since the beginning. He's never hid who he was. Even the way he speaks, like, I don't understand who would. He's a felon, guys, like, literally. And he calls us all criminals, but he's a felon himself.
But
Crazy.
he did say that if he were ever to run for president, he'll go Republican because there's the stupidest people on earth.
He did say that.
Your
Those words
own
came out of his mouth. He said,
said
if I was
that
ever
about
to run
you.
for president, I would go Republican because they're one of the dumbest people.
Yeah. I'll make sure to put the clip here of him saying that, because there's literally a clip and it's not AI. Moving forward, though, let's go into a little story time. Let's get away from the dark.
I'm sorry. I know this started a little like.
Yeah, we came in hot.
We came in hot, but this is why we didn't do one last week.
Yeah, we would have cried a lot more last week.
Yeah, and yeah, I know politics. This is not about politics anymore, though.
Yeah.
I never like to talk about politics or religion like that, but this is not about that anymore. This is more than that. And wake the fuck up. Just wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
And if you're not educated, please educate yourself. Even if it doesn't affect you.
I feel so strongly about this that whenever it was election time and I kept seeing people show like, there was a people that got ballsy and was like, my presidente Trump or whatever, I started unfollowing.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, unfollow.
I don't need to see that on my feed.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
I was
so
like,
unfollow.
I don't care what you brought into my life. If you brought anything to the table, the fact that you think like that and the fact that you're putting your selfish reasons before basic human rights was enough for me. I'm like, no te ocupo, do.
Word.
Anyways,
Same, honey bunches. But anyways, let's move on from this. If you're feeling like we are, you're not alone. And all I gotta say is that I'm gonna continue to pray and have faith and keep speaking about it and not lose hope. We just have to keep trying. We just have to keep going, and things are gonna be okay.
No, don't get silenced.
Things are gonna be okay.
All right, so,
but let's get into our little gossip and guidance forums. Let's get into one of those babies. Oh my God, it's 9:00 already.
This person is 26 and it's very long, so hold on to your headphones.
Grab a snack.
Grab your snack.
Pause if you're watching or listening on a podcast. Pause and go grab a snack.
Okay, so dice, I grew up in a family of 8. I was the 7th child in a Mexican-American upbringing. Although life wasn't easy, it always seemed to get worse when things started to get better. My dad came over to the U.S. for a better life, and when he was able to, he brought my mom and my 3 brothers. Eventually, he had 4 more girls, and I was the last daughter of my mom. She was already battling lupus, a immune disease, and she left me being 2 years old and left behind a total of 7 kids and a widowed father. Wow. Although my dad was never a loving dad, he always had food on the table and worked his butt off to give us a better life. Nunca nos faltó nada except a mom. Starts crying. He had a few cousins, sisters come to help with his 7 kids, but they couldn't help long term. So eventually he brought his cousin from Mexico and gave her employment as a babysitter. He remarried and she ended up becoming my stepmother, and they had a boy together, adding 8 to my dad's kids, 7 from my mom and 1 from my stepmother. Time passed and my siblings, tias, etc., started seeing she wasn't a good person. She would physically, mentally abuse of me and my siblings. My dad always siding with her, and I was just a child, so I always thought a mother was supposed to be that way. I had no clue of the toxicness because of the age. You don't think any of that. We went from having a nice house to losing everything in a fire when I was in 2nd grade. My upbringing was hard and toxic, as well as hospital visits. Sadly, the hospital visits didn't end with my mom. Lupus is hereditary, and 2 of my older brothers were battling it. One who was in coma and eventually developed seizures. I remember I was small, and all those visits to the hospital for both brothers in the ICU, and also being ready for seizures when the second oldest was about to have one. I had to learn to grow up very early, and from rebuilding our house after a fire to losing that house, I grew up in a few years after my dad ended up filing for bankruptcy. We moved into a warehouse he rented, and we had a small portable stove. The warehouse had 1 office. My stepmother and my little brother and dad slept in there, while me and my sister slept outside in the warehouse. It was super cold in the winter and super hot in the summers. At this point in the time, my stepmother was too problematic that she ended up splitting up the family, and my dad always sided her. So the older sibling escaped the toxic household, while me and my older sister still had to put up with it until it was our time to turn 18. The hospital visits were still happening, and the family was still falling apart. Financially and mentally, I remember she would physically choke us, the youngest, and tell us
I want to fuck her up.
she didn't want us living there with my dad. She also would physically get into fights with my sister when they were in high school. Physical fist fights, and my dad se hacía el ciego. He always chose her over us. So by the time we lost the house, all the older siblings decided to move away. Whenever things didn't go her way, she would say, "Por eso mataron a su mamá," and so on, to mentally mess with us. We were sleeping in cold warehouse while she had a heater in the office, and our shower had to be boiled water in the stove, and we would shower a cubetazos in a plastic storage bin. We were living in the US, pero batallando. I was always very optimistic and didn't really understand the trauma, or my mind just wanted to ignore what was happening. My stepmother, who would drive our Suburban to pick us up from school, was stopped, and the car we had was taken away. He eventually bought a Ford Explorer. We ended up getting some apartments, and from the apartments, my dad buying his cousin a mobile home. Then one night, from a family gathering, we ended up getting hit on the side of the Ford Explorer and ended up flipping and rolling off the bridge. I ended up dislocating my hip, and my face was full of blood. I woke up hearing screams of my dad trying to rescue us, since it was an older Ford Explorer. He was afraid it'd catch on fire and we would burn. Me and my sister were stuck so he didn't struggle but managed to take us out before the cops and the firefighters. Time passed and I recovered, but my hip wasn't the same. Even with the dislocated hip, my stepmother didn't change, and high school came and she became even more evil. I came out to my family that I was attracted to women, and she would always try to find every reason to argue. I joined sports and music activities because at a young age I loved both soccer and music, and that was my outlet to escape home. Anything I found love for, she attacked, so she would accuse me of being with girls during soccer practice and was mentally draining. I never really felt a love of a mother and always felt like I needed to have my walls up. None of that stopped me from dreaming and wishing I'd make it in music one day or soccer. But my soccer dreams were over the moment I realized my hips were never going to be the same after the accident. Eventually, the time came when my sister moved out and it was just me, and the amenazas and choking moments of her threatened me to take my life away as a joke, according to her. But she was just crazy. Till this day, I can't hate her because with the bad moments, she also raised me. Time passed, and the following week after graduating from high school in 2017, she choked me and told me her and my dad would be so happy if I left like the rest of the kids. So I did and didn't say bye to my dad. Deep down, I felt mad at my dad for putting us through all that these years because we were just kids, babies, and we didn't deserve that, especially my brothers that were always sick and also dealing with an evil stepmother. It was a Cinderella story in real life. We're almost done. I eventually moved away and went to college, but I had no funding from my dad since he gave all his money to her and only her. I grew up too fast and got a part-time for a few months, then realized it was hard to pursue college with no car and just a part-time. So I got a full-time and decided to save money for a car and music equipment. I lived 5 years in Anaheim, moved away from my hometown, Fontana, and went to Anaheim, worked 12-hour shift para salir adelante, and eventually she went to Mexico because her mom was dying and the coyote that promised to bring her back lied and kept the money. She has been living there since, and a few years she would ask for money since she knew I was always too nice and working. Esta señora nunca trabajó aquí, even after we grew up and could care for ourselves. Even after my dad was struggling, it came time when I changed jobs and started working as an independent contractor for a delivery company, and I was doing shifts from 4 a.m. to 1 a.m. because I wouldn't finish the workload. All those long...
From 4 a.m. to 1 a.m.?
Uh-huh. That's a lot. That's a little over... That's like 20 hours. All those long shifts helped me save for an album for music. I was able to drop an album, reach 50K streams, and in the underground scene of LA, people were hearing me. I was able to open for La Factoria and met a few people in the reggaeton scene. She saw I was doing well and she was stuck in Mexico, so she would always ask for money even though my dad was sending her. Time passed and I cut ties because I realized she still had me brainwashed for years of abuse. Till this day, I'm continuing with music and TikTok and just trying to push through. My brothers are doing better, and my brother's lupus is in remission, and lupus did end up affecting my older sister as well, but hers is also in remission. I moved back with my dad after having a fallout with my older siblings since I did move with them after my stepmother kicked me out. So much toxicity made us fight a lot, and today we as a family aren't close. My siblings and I have unhealed traumas, and it's a constant battle to be close with them now. We were all united, but she ruined it for us. Now it's just an unhealed generation trying day by day to heal. When I moved back to my dad's, it was COVID time, and my dad was losing his mobile home. His third home he was losing. A lot of family says my dad wasn't the same after my mom passed, because when she was alive, le iba bien, and everything changed once my mom died. Maybe depression. My stepmother was a spender, and she couldn't come back to the U.S. She would constantly ask for money. He also was financially terrible at saving, and he believed in the law of attraction, but became lazy and depressed. I could see it when I moved back. He hoarded stuff in the mobile home and had it as a teaaaaa. My dad was a diesel mechanic, and although le iba bien, el dinero nunca le rendía. So when my stepmother left, he let the house become a mess. I would try to clean it up, but he continued to trash it, and it was nearly impossible to keep up with my busy music schedule and work. Eventually, he lost the mobile home to his debt, and a year later saved and got an apartment with my girlfriend. Okay, so she got an apartment with her girlfriend. He has been back and forth to Mexico and retired, but visiting his wife. I am still making music and working a regular 9 to 5. I am on my second year living with my girlfriend and still making content for music and our relationship. And although we don't have a huge following, we're just a humble lesbian couple, learning to heal our traumas. I am not mad at my upbringing, and although some things I did leave out, I know that my story is a story que va a ayudar a mucha gente and inspire people. La vida pasa y todo lo que nos pasa nos quebra o nos hace más fuerte. That's life, and it is what it is. I will continue to make music and use my story to inspire people. And if I could get up every day and choose to smile, I know they can as well. 26, Cancer. Why are you crying?
I don't know. I just want to hug her.
Wow. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
A warehouse?
Friend.
I want to say, I think they can still fix that relationship with the siblings.
Yeah, they have unhealed trauma. You know, they have their own battles. So when you're having your own battles, it's hard for you to even, if you don't even have a relationship within yourself, how can you have good relationships with other people? It's kind of like if you don't love yourself, how can you love others, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, there's that unhealed trauma, but I think one way or another, it's shared trauma that can maybe help them bring them closer. But there's communication that needs to be done, you know?
Yeah, of course. Everything with communication. Well, first of all, friend, I just want to say I'm so sorry. I know that you say you're not mad about your upbringing and las cosas pasan por algo. And it's very true. And I'm glad that you can see it that way. And I'm glad that you feel that way. And that's amazing, honestly. I'm proud of you for even thinking like that.
Yeah, that's a positive mindset.
It's a very positive mindset, and for that, everything coming your way you deserve, and I wish you the best, and I hope that you blow up in your music and keep going. Don't give up. I know that industry is very hard. Those like modeling, acting, singing, those industries are hard, but you only lose when you give up, right? You only fail when you give up. So just keep going. Don't give up on your goals.
Congrats on your apartment with your girlfriend.
And if I can go and change some of the things that you went through, I would do anything to do that, because no one, regardless if you say that you're not mad about the way you grew up, I am mad, because no one deserves to be treated like that. No one deserves to go through that, especially not as a young kid. So I'm so sorry for that. But It made you who you are. Eres trabajadora, le chingas, you know what you want, and you did not let that bring you down. Because other people will either resort to drugs or be out on the streets or just not be doing so well in life, because sometimes you can either grab that and it can motivate you, and you can be the best. You can become the best version that you can of yourself, or you're gonna let it bring you down. And I'm so glad that you're looking at it as in a positive perspective, and for that, like, I admire you, because not everyone's able to do that. And it's because, like I've said earlier, some people are stronger than others, and you're a very strong woman. And I'm so happy for you that now you have a home with your girlfriend, and then you're happy and you're doing what you love,
chasing the dream.
and I think karma got this señora. Maybe not all the way exactly, but she couldn't come back for a reason. The coyote did her dirty for a reason. That was her karma. That was her karma for mistreating you guys.
Those comments about, like, por eso tu mamá se murió and shit.
Y por eso su mamá se le enfermó.
Y
You have to be careful que pones ahí en el mundo que deseas, porque whatever you put out there, another person is going to come back right to you. So, because sometimes a veces cuando tengo tanto odio and I think about certain things and I'm just like, okay, no, because you don't want that to come back to you. And that's why I admire you for having such a positive mindset. And she's paying for her dues. Life is getting her for you, you know? But yeah, I'm glad that you cut ties and that you don't have no communication with her, because she doesn't deserve that. She doesn't deserve your time or day.
Or money.
She does not deserve that. You are who you are because of what you went through, but she could have been a better person. And I don't think she's even realized that. I don't think she's remorseful of that, because has she even said sorry to you? No, right? So she's never even acknowledge what she's done. She's never even apologized to you. You didn't say it, but I don't think so. But I'm glad that you cut ties off with her, because she doesn't deserve your time or day or money. Like we said, like, you keep doing you keep working hard for you and your girl and your future, and that's all that matters. And regarding your siblings, like Syra said, I think that you guys can fix it. I think with communication and talking about the traumas, not just talking about what's on the surface now, what got you guys angry. No, talking about the trauma in general, it's gonna close those doors and help you guys move a little forward and grow together. I don't know if you tried or not, but if you haven't, maybe you take that first step with one of them. I know there's a lot of you. It might be probably hard to get you guys all together, but just try it out with 1, 2, 3, I don't know, because again, you said there is 7 of you from your mom and dad. So,
or maybe not all of you guys can come to like a solid relationship, but maybe you can come to a solid relationship with everyone. You know, like, not everybody wants to put in the effort, and I understand that. But if you yourself want to put in the effort with them individually, you can go that route. I mean, only if you want to, you don't have to. But I feel like a lot of the times, for example, me and my siblings, it's a total of 4. And maybe there's a situation where all 4 of us don't see eye to eye, and it is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, like, I can have a different relationship with each of them individually, you know. So maybe you can have that if you do want to rekindle a relationship with your siblings, because it's nice to have somebody you can just call up every now and then for absolutely nothing, you know. Like, I'm sorry for your loss with your mom. Like, I can't picture life without my mom, you know. And you said that your dad isn't lovable, but at the end of the day, he always had food on the table. And you can tell el señor, who knows what he went through after losing the love of his life, you know. And maybe it's what caused him to, like, kind of blind himself, because he finally found another girlfriend, and like, he didn't want to lose another person, although it took a toll on his kids, you know. And maybe he just blinded himself. He put up a wall, and like, he didn't want to go through it again.
And most men don't have that maternal instinct either. Yeah. And not to say that him turning a blind eye was okay. It was not okay at all, because at the end of the day, he is a father. His role as a father is not just to provide food, but to protect and care for his kids. And he failed in some way in those parts by turning a blind eye on the situation. But like Sarah said, and other families said that your dad changed a lot after your mom passed away. So maybe it did affect him. Maybe he was so depressed and he didn't have the energy to even deal with what was going on in front of him, which doesn't make it okay. But he has his own traumas. He has his own thing that he's went through. And I'm glad that you don't, it doesn't sound like you resent him. So I'm happy for you. So I went to church right on Sunday, and the Sunday and the service was about forgiveness, right? And letting go in order for you to move forward and to be the best version of yourself, and for you to be able to love God and yourself, right? And not to make it about God, but forgiveness, it's a very powerful thing, and not many people can do that. And I don't think that you resent your stepmom or your dad, and I feel like you have forgiven them, and for that I admire you, because at the end of the day, you're not forgiving them for them, you're forgiving them for yourself. And I'm sorry again. If I can go back and fix what you went through, I would 100%, because no one deserves to go through that. And I'm so sorry. Some women shouldn't even be mothers, but I'm sorry that she was the evil stepmother. Like, I know someone like that, and I would never understand how, regardless if that's not your blood kid, I don't know, understand how you can mistreat a child. Like, how can you do that to a child? And another thing, it's like, if you're not gonna respect or care for another person's children, don't get involved with that person. Mm-hmm. I don't understand the people that get involved with someone that has a kid and they don't respect at least the kids. You don't have to love them like they're your own. You don't have to do that. Sometimes that comes naturally for other people. Some people are amazing step parents, right? But for the people that they just cannot have that maternal instinct and love, you don't have to. Just respect them. That's it. And I don't know why it's so hard for some people. I have no idea. I would never understand why some stepfathers or stepmothers can be so evil and cruel. I could never understand that. And I don't know why they will go into a relationship where the other person has a kid if they can't do it. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be a step parent. And that it's okay. Just don't get involved with someone who has kids if that's not you.
Yeah. Amen, sister. Amen.
But I'm glad that you're doing good. I'm happy for you. And échale ganas. We'll be listening to your music, girl. We've been listening to it. So keep going. Don't give up. I can't wait, girl. I can't wait until you're over there blowing up. Y luego me invitas a one of your music videos.
Dude,
girl.
VIP, por favor. I've never been a VIP.
Me voy a poner bien buenota for you, girl. Pa' tu music video, okay? Don't let your girlfriend get mad. Pa' tu music video.
Yeah. Yo también. I'm a girl my BBL.
Or when you invite us to like an award show, girl, invite us. Don't forget about no te olvides de los pobres, okay?
Yo quiero ir a un concierto, quiero que me inviten a un concierto, pero que me inviten
al backstage,
por favor. Like the whole experience.
Yeah.
You might be the first one to do that for us and cross out that bucket list.
I'm sending you all the good dust and all the prayers your way, and you deserve everything good coming your way, amiga. Yeah. Thank you so much for submitting the form, by the way. That was a long story, and I was crying like halfway through almost the whole story. I was crying because I was the whole time that Sarah was reading it, I was like, I put myself in your shoes. Like I feel like I was living it. I felt the cold weather, the hot. I felt
the
like the buckets, showering. Like I want to cry again.
Wow, the madrastas over there in a heated office.
Yes. So like I the whole time I it's like I put myself in that place, and I know that it wasn't the best environment. But I'm glad that you had a roof over your head and that you weren't out in the streets. Mm-hmm. So for that, I'm thankful that you...
Comida.
Yeah. That you weren't out there in the streets
Shitty
starving.
stepmother, but...
Comida. But a Cancer. So Today,
I get along with Cancers, dude.
so let's read your horoscope, friend. Let's read it. Today is February 3rd, already in the second month of the year. Let's see what this month is going to bring us, because this has been a little wild. But you're going to be watching this on the 5th. You're going to be watching this on the 5th, but this is from the 3rd. My lovely Cancer, from June 20th to July 21st. Okay. It says, today, Cancer. Wait, I feel like this changed. Okay, today, Cancer, the Taurus moon brings a sense of stability and comfort. You might feel a strong urge to nest and surround yourself with the familiar things. This grounding energy allows for reflection and connection with your roots. This is an excellent day for focusing on what truly matters to you, whether it's a home project, personal goals, or nurturing relationships. The practical energy of Taurus supports a slow and steady approach to a meaningful progress. Embrace the inviting atmosphere today by prioritizing your comfort and emotional well-being. Engage in calming activities such as gardening or cooking, ensuring your surroundings feel cozy and supportive to your soul. Oh, that's cute. Okay, I feel like it's relatable. I don't know. Obviously, I'm going based off your story. I feel like it was relatable. You know, it's telling you to first find comfort in yourself, and surround yourself with your familiar things, and also to like reconnect with your roots, whether that is with your siblings or your father, or like, you know, gripping some of those traumas. You know, I feel like communication can rip some of those traumas. And it says focusing on what really matters, personal goals. I feel like obviously you have goals. You have your music goal, you have your goal to keep going and for a better future. So I feel like that was relatable. And I feel like it says surround yourself, feel cozy and supportive, and support your soul. And I feel like that you're in that space and in your apartment with your girlfriend. I feel like that's right. I feel like, to me, like being in your home with your girlfriend is cozy, is ensuring it's comfort. So I feel like your horoscope was related. I don't know. You can let me know if it was or not. But what are you doing?
Responded to an email.
But I just want to say thank you so much for submitting the form, for sharing your story with us. I know that for some of us it might be harder than others, but that was really tough, and I felt everything. So
yeah,
again,
and honestly, sometimes when people number one, we've never gotten like somebody actually sharing their story, like what was their upbringing was like. So thank you for that, because that's more than welcome to. If you simply have something to share, we're open to it, obviously. And like you ended it in a positive note, where although you went through all of that, like you didn't let it knock you down. And it's a perfect example of when I talk about, you can either grab a situation and go downhill and make it an excuse of why you're failing in life, or you can grab a situation by the balls and use it as an excuse to push you and succeed and become a better person and aim for better things in life. And I think that that's what you're doing. And it puts things into perspective, because obviously we all have different upbringings. Here I was thinking I had a terrible upbringing, and to an extent it wasn't that great, but it was also not that bad either. So I think it gives perspective to people.
Yes,
it helps us be more thankful, or more aware of certain situations, I would say. But thank you for sharing, friend. And tell your girlfriend to share. She ended it saying that her girlfriend has that story too.
Yes. We'll be waiting. We'll be waiting for your girlfriend's story, girl.
I will say, I want to share with you guys something before we end this podcast.
I know it's been a long one, and it's been emotional.
And it's gonna be on a positive note. Iromy still has no clue what the hell I just read. I was a little lost over here because I read an email.
Oh yeah, I don't know what she's talking about, guys.
Yeah.
I just
basically we got an invitation to have an official meet and greet.
Oh, sorry,
you can't be that happy yet.
Okay. I mean, I wanted to be positive. Yes. I don't want to cry.
Okay, well, we got an invitation to host an official meet and greet at the girls' locker room. That means 340.
We've been there. If you know, you know.
We've been there. If you know, you know. November 14th, we showed up and showed out. It was a great night. Our amigas at the girls' locker room, aka 340, are saying that they're getting a lot of messages of people requesting us to go back and have an official meet and greet. So she's telling us, and she gave us a date. Unfortunately, I don't think the date is going to work out, so I'm going to go back and try to negotiate a different date. I will say the only reason why the date is not working out right now is because your little lady over here, it may or may not be going back into the workforce, and I would hate to go back into the workforce and start requesting days off. You know, it's frowned upon. But el público has spoken.
And they have heard.
See what we mean, you guys? It's not us. You guys are on live always telling us, like, do this and do that. No, amigas. Wherever you want us to go, you go and blow up their DMs. If you guys want
to go to a podcast, keep blowing them up. I know. And by the way, we see the tags that we get tagged on. We see that and we appreciate you guys. I just want to say we appreciate it so very much. And I know if it doesn't happen with one video, it will happen. You guys just have to keep going.
Constantly.
People don't get where they're at by themselves. Yes, they started with being putting content creation or whatever they do, right? They start off like that, but they get where they're at because of you guys, because of the público, obviously, So if you guys want something, you guys, obviously us too, but what's it called? It requires for all of us to come together.
Yeah.
But oh my God, that's exciting.
That's pretty
Thank
cool.
you for the ones that kept messaging in them. That's amazing. We love you guys. That is a positive. That is one way to end this podcast because I was feeling really sad. I still feel sad, but
Yeah. Y también, I guess it's a good thing that because they were aiming for a date in February. But for people that are from out of California, I would like to give them a longer lead time.
Yeah.
A longer time to prepare. And, Because if it's last minute to buy flight tickets or to plan a trip, it's a little harder for the PTO. It's a little bit more expensive for the flights.
Yeah, for
sure. So if me and the homegirl Karen can agree on a different date, we'll keep you guys posted on it. And we'll make sure we give you more lead time for better planning.
Well, yay! Well, guys, you already said it. We get places because of you guys.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys.
Well, with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much for watching and listening to Gossip and Guidance with your host, Iromy, and co-host, Saira. Woo, 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 woo. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, don't be over there a fucking background watcher or don't be a hater. Hit that subscribe button, okay?
And if you've always watched or listened, let us know in the comments if you've been like a silent watcher listener.
Yeah, they'll be like, hey, silent watcher, and put like a little hand like that. And don't forget to
leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Yay. And as always, guys, don't be shy. Let us know what you guys thought about this podcast. I know it started a little crashy now. Again, let me just remind you guys, let's be adults. We're open-minded. Give us your opinions. Just don't be rude. Don't be mean because I will block you. I don't have the energy for those type of people. Let's be adults and open-minded once again. And be safe. If there's anything that you guys know, keep spreading the word out there. Even if it doesn't affect you guys, remember, just think about other people. Don't be selfish. And yeah, that is all, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. We love you guys.
Peace.
Bye.